All right, so let's jump right in, shall we? Staying motivated on your fitness journey, something I know a lot of you guys struggle with. It's like those thoughts like, ooh, why can't I just get myself to the gym? Or or maybe like, how do I actually enjoy working out? I get it. We're going to
Mm.
tackle that today. And we've got a really cool mix of sources actually. Articles with advice from pros, Reddit threads where people are getting real about their wins and fails, even some fitness YouTubers chiming in.
Yeah, and it's wild how much of this whole fitness motivation thing is about the psychology behind it? It's not just about willpower.
Exactly. It's not just about oh, just do it.
No, 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 not at all. It's about understanding how to make fitness a natural part of your life, something you actually enjoy. Like New Year's resolutions are great and all,
Yeah, totally.
but how do we actually make them last? That's the real question.
That's what we're here to figure out.
Exactly. It's about moving beyond those short bursts of woo, new year, new me, and actually creating a sustainable approach to fitness.
I like that. Sustainable.
Yeah.
So, okay, one of the articles, it was called 8 Tips for Staying Motivated on Your Fitness Journey, really resonated with me. They talked about finding your why. Have you ever thought about that, in relation to your own fitness journey?
Oh, all the time. And
Right.
and it's something that comes up constantly in those Reddit forums too. People who are truly killing it in their fitness journey, they often have a really strong why driving them.
Right.
It's not just about wanting to look good in a swimsuit. It's about connecting fitness to something deeper. Something like your values or aspirations.
Yeah, totally. It's not superficial.
Exactly. It's about why is this important to me?
Exactly. Exactly. It's like that Reddit user who found their why by picturing themselves like a healthier version of themselves. They even used photos of a fit actor as inspiration.
I love that. Visual cues, so powerful. It's having that tangible reminder of what you're working towards.
Absolutely. And speaking of tangible goals, we got to talk about SMART goals. SMART fitness goals, the ultimate guide, and how to stick to your fitness goals and stay motivated. Both really a hit on this framework. They break it down, right?
Yeah.
SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Yeah, and I think where a lot of folks go wrong is setting those vague goals like I want to get fit. It's almost like setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
Because how do you even measure that?
It's like saying, I want to travel the world.
Exactly. Where do you even start?
Right.
But a SMART goal, that's like booking a flight to a specific destination. It gives you a clear target, a timeline, like run a 5K in under 30 minutes by, and then you pick your date.
It's actionable.
Yes.
And these sources also talked about data tracking,
Mhm.
whether it's, apps or even just a simple spreadsheet, actually seeing your progress.
Oh, so motivated.
It is.
It's like visual proof that what you're doing is working. Turns your fitness journey into something you can track, measure, which can make it feel way more achievable.
Okay, so we've got our why, we've got SMART goals, but what about those mornings when the snooze button is just calling your name?
Yeah.
10 ways to keep on track with your fitness goals had this super simple tip. Lay out your workout clothes the night before.
It sounds so basic, right? But there's some serious psychology behind that. It's like you're removing that barrier to entry, so you're less likely to talk yourself out of it. It even ties into this whole habit formation thing.
Right, because you're setting yourself up for success.
Exactly. It's almost like a mental commitment.
It is. It is.
And there's this almost Pavlovian effect that happens. One Redditor pointed this out, just putting on those workout clothes can trigger that desire to exercise. Your brain is like, oh, we're wearing these clothes, it's time to move.
I love that. It's like putting on your game face.
Yeah.
But even with the best intentions, how do we keep things interesting, right? Avoid getting bored.
That is the million-dollar question. And both 10 unique tips to stay motivated to work out regularly and 8 tips for staying motivated on your fitness journey, really stressed, mixing up your routine. Variety is key.
Makes sense. Keeps things fresh.
Mhm.
Challenges different muscle groups, helps you avoid those plateaus.
Totally. Keeps your body guessing, keeps your mind engaged.
And the no fun, no future philosophy from physical activity, staying motivated, I mean, that really hit home for me.
Oh, me too. It's about finding activities that you genuinely enjoy, right? Whether it's dancing or hiking or joining a sports league like they talked about in that hybrid calisthenics video.
I love that. It shouldn't be a chore.
Exactly. It should be something you look forward to.
And the studies in 23 ways to stay motivated to exercise all year round, they They blew my mind. Working out with other people, it can actually lead to more weight loss and consistency.
Right. And the Reddit threads were full of people echoing that. Workout partners, gym communities, online fitness challenges, they all provide that sense of accountability, make the whole journey a little less intimidating.
It's like you're part of a team, all working towards a common goal.
Exactly. You've got your crew, your support
But
system.
we all know challenges are inevitable, right? 8 tips for staying motivated on your fitness journey. They acknowledge that.
Oh, for sure. And Fit encouraged reframing those setbacks as learning opportunities. It's about seeing every workout, even the ones where you're not feeling it, as a step towards that bigger goal.
Just showing up is a win sometimes. And
Absolutely.
those practical tips from Reddit, gold, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Breaking down your goals, focusing on one rep at a time, celebrating those small
We
victories,
love it. It's all about that feeling of accomplishment. Keeps you moving forward.
keeps you going. And you know what really stood out to me from all this research? It was the power of community. It was a huge theme.
You're so right. It came up again and again. There's something about sharing your journey with others that just makes it more enjoyable and sustainable.
It's like having a built-in support system, people to cheer you on. 23 ways to stay motivated to exercise all year round. They actually had a study that found people who exercise with, like supportive companions, they experienced greater weight loss, short and long term.
It's incredible, right? But it makes sense. Having people counting on you to show up, that can be incredibly motivating.
It's like that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
And in fitness, we definitely want to go far.
We do, we do. And all those Redditors raving about workout buddies, I think they were onto something.
Absolutely. It's like turning a solitary activity into this shared experience. More fun, more motivating, and ultimately more sustainable. It's like having your own personal cheerleader in your corner, someone who gets it.
Yeah.
Someone who can offer that encouragement when you need it most. But even with the best support system, there are going to be those days when your motivation takes a nosedive. One Reddit thread, how do you motivate yourself to work out? It was in the body weight fitness subreddit. They had some really great insights on this.
It's so true. Those days happen to everyone,
Right.
right? Like, what really struck me from that thread was how many people talked about the power of just showing up, even when you don't feel like it.
Oh, yeah, just got to get there.
It's like one user said, working out is a positive feedback loop.
I love that.
Yeah,
It's like once you get over that initial hurdle, that resistance, the workout itself actually becomes the motivator.
right.
The more you do it, the better you feel, the more you want to do it.
Exactly. It's like breaking through the inertia. And I remember another Redditor mentioning that they always keep their workout clothes and their equipment like ready to go. So it's just there.
Oh, that's smart. It's about making it as frictionless as possible, right?
Yeah.
Eliminating those excuses.
Exactly. Exactly. And speaking of excuses, how can you motivate yourself to work out?
Mm.
That article suggested focusing on the immediate benefits of exercise, like
hmm
how good you feel afterwards, that boost in energy, the mood lift. Sometimes that's all you need, right?
Totally. And sometimes it's okay to scale back.
Ugh.
Remember, something is always better than nothing. That same article actually reminded us that, hey, it's okay if you don't always hit a home run. Even a short, easy workout is still a win.
It's about progress over perfection.
Yes.
And that ties into another big takeaway from our research, which is finding joy in the process. Physical activity, staying motivated. They had this motto, replace the no pain, no gain message with no fun, no future.
So good, right? It's like we need to shift our perspective. Exercise shouldn't be punishment.
It should be something you look forward to.
Exactly. Like that YouTuber who was all about trying new things, mixing it up. Don't be afraid to step outside that comfort zone. Maybe you discover a passion for Zumba or rock climbing. You never know.
I love that. And don't forget about little rewards, too. How I stay dedicated to my fitness goals. They talked about celebrating those small victories.
Oh, yes. It's like those gamified fitness apps that give you badges and rewards. It totally taps into that desire for achievement, and it makes the whole journey more fun.
Right. Whether it's like a healthy smoothie after a tough workout or finally fitting into those jeans you've had your eye on.
It's about acknowledging your progress, giving yourself credit for the effort.
Absolutely.
Now, while we're on the topic of motivation, I think it's time to bring in the big guns. The social aspect of fitness. This was huge in our research, and for good reason.
It's true. We've touched on it a bit, but it's worth really diving in. Working out with friends, joining a gym community, participating in those online fitness challenges, it can make a world of difference.
It's that camaraderie, the shared goals, the support. It can be incredibly motivating. And plus, sweating it out with a friend is just way more fun than going it alone.
All those Reddit users praising workout buddies, they were definitely onto something.
For sure. There's something powerful about having someone to hold you accountable, to share that journey with. It makes the whole process more enjoyable, more sustainable,
And it's more fun.
way more fun.
And don't discount the competitive element either. 7 effective ways to stay motivated to work out. They talked about how seeing other people's achievements can actually push us to work harder.
Right. It's like that saying, iron sharpens iron.
I love that. We rise to the occasion
Totally.
when we're surrounded by others who are striving. And speaking of striving, one of the Reddit threads had this great tip about using visualization.
Oh, yes. The how do you motivate yourself to work out thread. The body weight fitness one, that was a good one.
It was so good.
It's about creating a mental picture, like really
Right.
picturing what you want to achieve, using that as fuel.
It's like having a personal cheerleader in your head.
Exactly.
I love it. And remember that YouTuber who stressed realistic expectations. You're not going to transform overnight.
Yep.
If you stay consistent, if you focus on those small daily improvements,
All about the small wins.
the results will come.
They will. Patience and persistence.
Yes.
Those are key. And even with the best mindset and the best support system, we all hit those plateaus sometimes. 8 tips for staying motivated on your fitness journey. They had some really solid advice for navigating those tough times.
What really resonated with me was their advice to view those setbacks as opportunities for growth. It's about learning from those experiences and coming back stronger.
Every challenge we overcome makes us more resilient, right?
It does. It does.
And those practical tips from Reddit, pure gold. Breaking down goals, focusing on one rep at a time, celebrating the small victories.
Having a toolkit.
Yes, a toolkit of strategies.
It's about finding what works for you and building that mental toughness.
Mental toughness is key.
Because you're going to hit those rough patches.
You are.
And speaking of finding what works, one of the sources introduced this really interesting concept called temptation bundling.
Oh, I loved that one.
Oh.
7 effective ways to stay motivated to work out, backed by science. They suggested pairing your workouts with something you genuinely enjoy, like listening to your favorite podcast or watching a TV show you've been meaning to catch up on.
It's brilliant.
It is.
It's like you're tricking your brain into looking forward to the workout because it's associated with something pleasurable.
Exactly. It takes the focus off the effort.
Makes it more enjoyable.
Yes.
And, after all this talk about strategies and techniques, I think it's important to circle back to something really fundamental. Self-compassion.
So important.
How to stick to your fitness goals and stay motivated. Really emphasize this. We have to be kind to ourselves, especially when it comes to fitness. We're all human.
We are.
We're going to have those days where we fall short of our goals.
We're not perfect.
It's about letting go of that all-or-nothing mentality. One slip-up doesn't mean you failed. It just means you're human.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging those setbacks as a normal part of the journey and giving yourself permission to get back on track without the self-flagellation.
So after this deep dive into fitness motivation, what have we learned? We've explored the power of finding your why, setting smart goals, building a supportive community, and most importantly, finding joy in the process.
We've talked about the psychology behind motivation, practical tips for overcoming those slumps.
And celebrating those small wins along the way.
Yes.
And don't forget the self-compassion. It's your journey. It's okay to make it your own. What works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly.
The key is to find what resonates with you. Build a routine that you can stick with.
Experiment, try new things, and most importantly, don't be afraid to have fun with it.
Now, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought. Something that came up in our research, but we didn't really get a chance to discuss it in detail.
It's an intriguing concept called temptation bundling.
Yeah, and I remember reading about that in 7 Effective Ways to Stay Motivated to Work Out, backed by science.
Yeah.
It's about linking something you enjoy, like maybe listening to a podcast or watching your favorite show with your workout.
Oh, it's so smart. Like you're kind of tricking your brain into looking forward to it because it's associated with something pleasurable.
Yeah.
It's like this really clever way to hack your motivation and make fitness feel less like a chore and more like, oh, this is kind of fun.
I was like, okay, I get to watch that new episode while I'm on the treadmill. Yeah, sign me up.
Exactly. And that positive association, it really can make a huge difference in the long run. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's important to emphasize This is just the beginning, you know? We've explored a ton of strategies, but now it's up to you to actually put them into practice.
It's true. It's about taking what we've talked about and finding what works best for you.
Exactly. It's all about experimentation and personalization.
Hmm.
Maybe community is like your biggest motivator, so joining a running club or a fitness class, that's your key to success.
Hmm.
Or maybe you thrive on data and like tracking your progress, so finding the right app or wearable that's essential for you.
And don't forget about the power of just showing up, even on those days when you'd rather just stay curled up on the couch, those days.
Oh yeah, we all have them. But remember, consistency is key. Even a short, imperfect workout is way better than skipping it altogether.
It really is. And above all, remember to be kind to yourself. Throughout this whole journey, there will be ups and downs, but it's about progress, not perfection.
So true. Celebrate your wins, no matter how big or small, and don't be afraid to ask for support when you need it.
You've got this.
You do.
And as a final thought, as you embark on your fitness adventure, I encourage you to think about, how you can use this concept of temptation bundling to make your workouts even more enjoyable. Maybe it's listening to a new audiobook while you run or catching up on your favorite podcast while you lift weights.
Yeah, get creative. Find those little things that bring you joy and weave them into your fitness routine. It makes a world of difference.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep moving, and keep striving to be the healthiest and happiest version of yourself.